Hello, I'm Antonio Mora. This is the newsandnews.com Day in Brief. Today's top stories in 4 minutes. It's Wednesday, November 7th at about 7 p.m. I never would have thought that the day after a national election in the U.S. that saw a significant shift in power in the federal government, I'd lead with something else. Well, welcome to the world of politics under President Trump. This afternoon, despite an election that gave Republicans a reasonably good story to tell, Trump decided he couldn't even wait a day to fire Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Trump, of course, has been at odds with Sessions from the moment Sessions recused himself from the investigation into Russian meddling during the 2016 election. Sessions' recusal, by the way, was the correct ethical thing to do. Top Republicans are reacting as if this firing is no big deal, while top Democrats and pundits on the left sound like Chicken Little, convinced that Trump's move against Sessions will lead to the end of Special Counsel Mueller. The reality is likely somewhere in between. Democrats are already calling for the man Trump named as acting Attorney General Matt Whitaker to recuse himself. Don't hold your breath. Whitaker, who was Sessions' chief of staff, has publicly criticized the Mueller investigation and made clear he believes Mueller should not be looking into Trump's finances. He will almost surely not recuse himself, so he now takes over supervision of the Mueller investigation from Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. I have previously said that I do not believe the people around Trump would allow him to be so reckless as to fire Mueller, but I also would never have thought Trump would fire Sessions before we'd had a chance to fully digest a major election. In that election, Democrats took over control of the House, while Republicans, when all the votes are counted, will likely have strengthened their control of the Senate. As one pundit on the left put it, instead of a blue wave, what Democrats got was purple rain. Trump declared victory, a reasonable way to spin the story from his perspective, because the GOP did better in these midterms than the historical norm. He also got big wins in important races for many of the candidates he actively campaigned for, keeping Florida in the red column, likely holding on to the governorship in Georgia and the Senate in Texas, and flipping a Senate seat in Indiana. But the election underscored an increasingly divided America, one that may not bode well for the GOP. Republicans dominated in more rural areas and weakened in the suburbs. Democrats kept increasing their hold on the cities and strengthening in suburbia. They also grew their share of women's votes and held on to their share of the minority vote, which will keep increasing in importance. And the total vote numbers should be ringing all sorts of alarms at RNC headquarters. Despite winning the battle for Senate seats, Republicans were shellacked in the popular vote. Democratic candidates got about 12 million more Senate votes than Republicans, according to a count earlier today. We have extensive election coverage at newsandnews.com, including the politicking that has already begun for leadership in the newly Democratic House. And Wall Street again showed it likes divided government. Stocks soared in their best rally after a midterm election since Ronald Reagan's first term. In our alternate universes segment, The Great Divide Between Conservative and Liberal Media, an extraordinary and testy presidential news conference got lost a bit among all the other news. The low light was when CNN's Jim Acosta was called on. He began by lecturing Trump, telling him the caravan is not an invasion. The ensuing back and forth even led to an embarrassing scuffle over a microphone with a young White House aide. No matter how wrong Trump may be in characterizing the caravan as an invasion, a reporter should not begin a question by scolding the President of the United States about his choice of language. Challenge the President with facts, explaining how the enormous majority of the migrants are people who just want better lives for their families like the rest of us. Ask him how he can describe these people as invaders when they have nothing but what little they can carry. Nope. In today's media world, fame or infamy is important currency for reporters, so behavior that gets a reporter attention is seen as a good thing, even if it's rude. Until recently, reporters weren't supposed to be the story. They were supposed to ask tough questions and hold public officials accountable. Grandstanding does the opposite. It allows Trump to deflect, distract, and portray the media as out to get him. His attacks on the media have at times been dangerous and shameful. We should stop giving him the excuse to continue. We have all the stories and much more updated around the clock 7 days a week on newsandnews.com, where you will find all you need to know in one place. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the right of your screen just below this video. Please follow me on Facebook at Real News and News. And Yeah, that's about it. Follow us on Facebook at Real News and News. Follow me on Twitter at AMORA.TV. I say this every day, so how could I forget today? I'll see you again tomorrow.